I think that I have crafted the perfect anti-meta deck right now in the Pokemon TCG. Online and in some real-life events, you'll be seeing a lot of Terapagos EX, Miraidon EX, Palkia V-Star, and just any other deck, Raging Bolt even, Charizard, Dragapult. They all like to have their massive benches. But what does Glimmora EX do? Well, its ability makes them only have up to 3 benched Pokemon. This is perfect for dealing with decks that rely on Area 0 Underdepths, which allows them to have up to 8 benched Pokemon, and its Poisonous Gem attack does 140, and it poisons them to actually do a lot of easy 2-hit KOing, and I'll kind of explain how we achieve that in a bit, and why the poison damage is so relevant. This is an insanely fun deck to play. I've gone on a crazy win streak with this, like 10 wins or something ridiculous in a row, and I do think that this archetype right now is very strong. What's going on, everybody? Hitmonchanting here, and today I want to tell you about my Glimmora EX deck. This is a deck I have completely crafted because it is the perfect counter to the entire meta, more or less, right now. Everybody's really relying on having a big bench, going very wide with a lot of support Pokemon like Pheasantipede, Rotom, Luminion, pretty much every deck except for Gardevoir. Gardevoir is the only one that isn't really like that. But Glimmora can counter every single one of those decks and be super annoying in the process. So you know what Glimmora EX does, I kind of just explained it. And part of the reason why this card is so good is a lot of its current support in its evolution line. We have Glimmet, which has 40 HP, but has the Ascension attack. So you can just search your deck right away for Glimmora EX, and then boom, you have basically the end of your first turn, Glimmora EX limiting your opponent's bench to 3 Pokemon, which can really hurt them in setting up and make it very difficult for them to actually do anything the following turns and kind of get a full board going. We also have an insanely strong single prizer in the Glimmora from Paldea Evolved, because it has that Shattering Crystal ability, so if it gets knocked out, you flip a coin, and if it's heads, your opponent can't take any prizes, and the Poison Petals attack is very efficient and ridiculously strong, poisoning your opponent's active, but putting 6 damage counters instead of 1 during Pokemon checkup. So naturally, pairing this with Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, so we can get an extra 2 damage counters for poison. This is what allows Glimmora EX to 2-shot even like Charizard EX, for example, because that Poisonous Gem, instead of being 140 plus 10, is now 140 plus 30, which is basically like 170. So you can 2-hit KO Charizards and Dragapults and that kind of thing. And naturally, we're using a Bibarel engine. This deck has a lot of room for a lot of consistency, so we were playing a 3-3 Bibarel line. Now we're going to go into the trainers, which is where things get a little bit more interesting. Obviously, we're going to be working with our standard supporter lines. We're rocking 4 Iono, 4 Arven as the core of this deck, as well as 1 Professor's Research just for some burst to draw if we need it, with 2 Boss's Orders, which is kind of standard, and 1 Roxanne to be especially disruptive to our opponents. Now we're also, if you know, I spoke about the Arvens, we have a couple of different tools that allow Glimmora to pull off its game plan very efficiently. We have the Rescue Board, so basically an Arven can get you Buddy-Buddy Poffin plus Rescue Board on your first turn going second, so you can immediately just go for an Ascension with an attach, and then you're kind of just good to go. We're also playing 2 copies of EXP Share, which is really, really strong for keeping your Glimmoras consistently, keeping the energy flowing, because we're just relying on manual attachments. So the EXP Share makes that not much of an issue. You don't see much jamming tower play right now, so the EXP Share is pretty fine and dandy for that, for that purpose. We're also rocking a TM Devolution. The whole idea behind that is when your opponent goes down to 3 prizes, this is mainly against Charizard and Dragapult, obviously, you Roxanne plus Devo them, and ideally they're already poisoned, so then they'll have damage on them, so then they will be KO'd in the active spot and devolved, so their entire bench won't actually have, you'll have a very small bench, and they won't actually be able to get many, get another evolution because they have no support Pokemon on their tiny bench. That's kind of the whole idea behind that. And the last kind of like tech-y card in here is the Perilous Jungle, and you're like, I've never seen this card before. Well, it's from Temporal Forces, and it puts 2 more damage counters on each poisoned non-dark Pokemon. This card is specifically for the Raging Bolt matchup because you can attack with Glimmora EX plus Radiant Hisuian Sneasler plus the Dangerous Jungle, so that means that you're going to be getting 5 damage with poison, at the end of your turn and the end of your opponent's turn, so 140 plus 5 plus 5 is 240, which is the perfect amount to KO Raging Bolt EX with Poison. And then we also are rocking with a Lost Vacuum to get rid of Bravery Charms in the Gardevoir matchup, but also mainly the Raging Bolt matchup. We have a couple switches in here. We're rocking 3 Nest Ball, 4 Buddy-Buddy, 4 Ultra, and we also are playing 3 Crushing Hammer, which is another crucial part of this deck's strategy against decks like Charizard and the like, because you can kind of just burn all their energies away, and you don't even need to Devo them. You can just hit them, and it might be really hard for them to respond because they're not going to have a super established board. Energy-wise, we're rocking with 7 basic fighting, and that is the list. I'm very excited to show it off. Let's just hop right in and get some awesome dubs. Just wanted to give a quick thank you to the lovely sponsors of the Hitmonchanting channel. If you need codes, you know where to go. Head over to ptcglstore.com and use code Hitmon to get 5% off your order. And be sure to check out Pokemon.gg, the best Pokemon card tracker and deck builder there is. Join Pokemon.gg by clicking the link below and use code Hitmon to get a free month of pro membership. Hitmonchanting playmats are finally here. Head on over to hitmonchanting.com to pick yours up today. Thank you to my sponsors for supporting the channel, and thanks to you for supporting me too. And now, let's get right back into the video. We get to call this opening coin flip. Tails never fails, as I always say, but except this time it has failed me, which is quite sad. It's gonna land on heads, and heads is going to be the coin flip that my opponent will choose if they want to go first. That sounded a lot better in my head, but they're going to choose to go first, which is great for us. We definitely want to be going second with this deck, get that Ascension turn 1, and boom, we have it just because we're goated like that. We have the Buddy-Buddy in hand. We'd like to just probably go for an Iono so we can get like double Bib, double Glimmet down. That's kind of the goal. You're starting with a Pekkarunt, my friend, which kind of just means you're playing Roaring Moon. It also means that you're guaranteed to have a support Pokemon that is weak. Ooh, did you not get anything off that Pokestop? Putting a Roaring Moon down, sounds about right. If they have like 2 Dark Patch in hand, that can kind of be rough, but they're going to just go right ahead and attach and pass. Okay, so if that's just about it, then I'm pretty happy. I do want to start with the Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I'm going to get Bidoof Glimmet for now because it's not the end of the world if we can't get this rolling right here. We don't have Vessel. That's the main important thing to note here. Perilous Jungle is going to be good to bump the Pokestop if we can find that. I think I'm still going to go for this Iono. I mean, first off, I will just throw this Crushing Hammer out because if we can just get rid of that dark energy, that'd be nice. We do just get rid of it, so the likelihood of them attacking us is ever so slightly less. Go for the Iono here. We want to get more of a support, like a bench down. And that we do get. We get another Glimmet, and we get a Nest Ball, which can nab us a Bidoof. So this is pretty solid. I'm happy with this hand. I literally just want to go for an Ascension here. Gonna get myself a Glimmora. Now, this is kind of still a scary position, because if they just mill a bunch of Dark Patch, they can just Dark Patch 3 times, go up, and boom, goodbye with to our Glimmora. They can just use Calamity Storm and get rid of it. They're gonna Pokestop. Okay. They milled the Booster Capsule. Booster Capsule's very bad for us. So we'll kind of just see what happens. They're getting a Greninja to draw. So my guess for their board is it's going to be Moon, Pekkarunt, Greninja, Moon. Like just those 4 out of the 6 Pokemon. I'm guessing that's kind of where we're rocking. No, they found another Booster Capsule because that was going to respond with Poison Petals. And, okay, they're going for a Darkrai. If they just pass here, that's really good for us. Like, insanely good. Okay, the pass here is really, really strong because we can just get this Pekkarunt out of here, and we get another Iono, which is perfect because we need more cards. So we'll throw that Iono down. Now, being down 2 Iono here does kind of suck. We do get an Ultra Ball, so we can get ourselves a good old Bibarel, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully we can draw into an EXP share. That'd be really nice. We'll do that. There is another Glimmora I think that could be beneficial for this deck. We get another Glimmora EX. Not a huge fan of this hand. Poisonous Gem will get us 2 prizes though, so that's not the worst thing. Again, if they go for a Frenzied Gouging with the, the booster capsule on it, then we can like Poison Petals plus utilize our Vacuum to get rid of it. Dark Patch number 1 coming down. I'm guessing Dark Patch number 2 is going to follow very soon. They must have a Prime Catcher or something. Here comes the Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball can get Darkrai V-Star, which can get the double Dark Patch back. They're going to get Fez. So Fez, again, obviously we can just Arven Prime Catcher, bring up the Fez, and destroy that. But the fact that they can only establish one attacker at a time here literally gives us such a massive advantage in this matchup, because they're getting half the efficiency of the Professor Sada. They also need to find a way to switch now because they have no more room for P.E.K.K.A Run, and we destroyed it in the active spot. So if our Glimmora can survive this turn, I'll be very, very happy. I can see them just going for a Pokestop like discard with Calamity Storm. I can see that happening, so I'm not going to hold my breath necessarily. They're going to attach to Greninja. And we'll just kind of see what happens here. I'm just curious. I don't know. It is going to be Frenzied Gouging, so they're going to get rid of Glimmora. We like very desperately need to find ourselves a what's it called? We really got to find ourselves the Vacuum here, which I hope it's in the deck. I actually didn't check. I think it is. I think I did see it, so that's good. But we really got to find it. So let's start off with this Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball can get rid of this Nest Ball, and the fighting energy is fine. We do want to get this Glimmora here. I should have checked for the Vacuum. I'm such a silly goose. I do think I want to Arven here regardless though, because we can guarantee ourselves that EXP share. So yeah, we do have the Vacuum, we have the EXP share, so we can at least keep up in our prize trade here. We'll throw this down on the Glimmet, and we'll vac away that booster so we can get rid of this capsule over here, and we'll be able to use Poison Petals and take the knockout. So that's good at the very least. I'm very hesitant to put that Glimmora down. Like, very, very hesitant. Nest Ball, okay, so we're chilling. We can put this Glimmet into play. And yeah, I'm gonna just kind of chill with that. I'll just Poison Petals here, get rid of the Roaring Moon. Now, I don't remember if I mentioned this in the actual deck, like, briefing portion of the video here, but a very good part about being a poison-focused deck is, drumroll please, it is that you're actually able to stop Fez from activating, which is really, really clutch. Something I didn't consider here, though, is that they can Greninja me, so that's not cool. I don't hope they can't, but they might be able to. They have a really big hand, because they just need to do Sada, double E-switch. They need Sada, double E-switch, attach. It's possible. It really is possible, but they also need like double Moon. They need to then Sada, do whatever. Because if they can do that, that's really bad. But then we can just Roxanne them and Poison Petals, so then the Greninja will be taken out by... Okay, I think they're just using it as a pivot point now. Anyway, Pheasantipity is not triggered by Poison KOing, so that's why a lot of our math is like staggered properly in a way, for example, against Raging Bolt, where you can just... Oh, they're gonna go for a boss play? Are they boss stalling Bibarel? Is that what's happening here? So we definitely know there's no Sada play, so that's fine. But yeah, as I was saying, a lot of our poison math is dictated so we don't trigger Fez, and they actually get KO'd on the poison. So that is pretty smart. We should have Prime Catcher left, if I remember correctly. They're going to retreat into Flutter Mane, which we can Prime Catcher the Fez and just poison it. I don't mind that at all. We have Arven. And honestly, that's not a terrible idea, right? Because we can just go... Like, I'll attach this here. We'll Prime Catcher up Fez and just poison the Fez. Or we can just regular switch and poison Flutter Mane. I don't know. This is a tough one. We could just go into Glimmora. We could Prime Catcher up the Fez and just go into Glimmora here to limit their options. I don't mind that either. So, okay, this is what I want to do here. I'm going to Vessel away this research. I want to thin these energies. We have Prime Catcher. We don't have the other EXP share, which is not as good. So we might want to save the Prime Catcher here. Because I'm definitely going to drop Sneasler. I can throw this Glimmora here. We could literally just switch and start paying the Flutter Mane. It's so risky though. But no, you know what? Maybe I actually bring up the Moon. That's an idea I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I don't mind going Prime Catcher. We'll get Rescue Board as well, just so we can throw it on the Sneasler. Prime Catcher, I don't mind bringing up the Moon here, because then, what's it called? They can't use any Darkrai Dark Patch shenanigans here. So that's fine. That's kind of chill. We'll just Poison Petals. I'm fine to keep the Rescue Board. So now we got 8 damage on you. If you don't do anything next turn, another 8 damage, then you can just get KO'd by Glimmora EX. So that, I'm actually okay with that. They haven't used Prime Catcher, they used 3 Dark Patch, they've only used 1 Ultra Ball. So yeah, my reasoning behind this play is they've outbenched themselves from putting a Pekka down. So yeah, you can Ultra Ball, you can get yourself Darkrai V-Star. Then you can get even, you know, double Dark Patch. But how are you going to power this Roaring Moon up? That's the line of thinking, right? Then all we literally need to do is just find a boss's orders, which we should have in the deck. We can also just Roxanne spam them at that point. Because like I've said, now you've got your Darkrai V-Star out. What are you powering up? You can power Baby Moon. You can maybe take a prize card on this Glimmora. There's a Pokestop, which can get them E-Switch and Vessel, which can help. Again, they still always have that play of like getting to a Greninja, but without a Pekka, I know that Roaring Moonless aren't playing Switch Cart without Pekka. So I think that there's a Star Abyss. They don't have any Switch cards in here. It's literally just E-Switch and Dark Patches. So I'm kind of curious to see what they grab. If they grab an E-Switch and a Dark Patch or 2 Dark Patch, you're not going to really be able to make as much work. They could go for a Fez play where they double Dark Patch, E-Switch with something in their hand. And then that is double Dark Patch I think they grabbed. And then they can like Prime Catcher and then like Bib and then start sniping on the bench. That's possible. There's boss on the Bib. Another reason I kept the Rescue Board, so now we can just attach to it and then retreat it. Baby Moon is their angle. Okay. Baby Moon's the angle, so we can potentially just Roxanne them here if we don't. Oh, but they're just gonna pass. So doesn't that just give us the game? It does, right? Yeah, it does just give us the game. Let's go. Big dub. Big dub with Glimmora. You can see how strong this deck is, right? Like, I'm not just talking just to talk. Like, you can see it. Yeah, because it's crazy. It's crazy good. They chose heads, so naturally, tails never fails. For us, it's going to be tails, and we're going to choose to go second with this deck. Turn 1 Ascension. We have that 1 Earthen Vessel, so we can Arven for it, and we just basically have it guaranteed. That's kind of the hope, as long as we get a half-decent opening hand. Thankfully, this one's mulligan. This wouldn't have been a very good opening hand, especially going second. But we're just going to have that 1 mulligan. We're going to start with Glimmet. Yeah, we're chilling. We got, as long as Vessel's in the deck, that's the key thing. As long as we have Vessel, then we'll be fine, because Buddy-Buddy can get us some more of our basics. There's a Flutter Mane there, which the Flutter Mane, that's a little bit of an issue. Because if this is, what's it called? Okay, it looks like Ancient Box, I'm guessing. Yeah, okay, so at least it's Ancient Box. So our ability actually doesn't matter too much, but yeah, I was gonna say that Flutter Mane really not great in terms of like, because we can't actually limit their bench. They're gonna conceal the cards. They're gonna get a pretty wicked go around so far, and yeah, this is gonna be a little bit of a challenging matchup, but I think with the single prizer will be pretty good. They're putting the Great Tuscan play, and they're just gonna pass. So there's a Bibarel. I'm thinking we're for sure gonna Buddy-Buddy and get Bidoof and Glimmet. That seems reasonable. And I do want to get the Vessel, more so because the first turn attachment is so critical. So we can go ahead and net ourselves Arven. Arven can grab the Vessel plus the EXP share. Very valuable cards to have. We'll drop the EXP. Radiant Sneasler will ditch for later. Let's get 2 of these. I am going to bump the Pokestop just because I don't want them to have access to it. They got rid of a, what's his name? They got rid of an Explorer's Guidance, so I'm guessing they have another, like some other sort of supporter in the hand, which is fine. Yeah, I was sure they had the Sada, so they can go ahead and do that. We might see a Great Tusk attack come out here. And I think that this is a matchup that, as long as we're very aggressive and we can pretty easily chain our Glimmoras here, we should be fine. Like, I don't really see that much of an issue. We know we're not getting hit this turn with a Roaring Moon. They got rid of the, what's it called? Perilous Jungle, but that's okay. We have an Iono for next turn. They have the, what's its name? They put the Secret Box in the deck. or in their hand, I should say, from the Pokestop. So we'll put it to the bottom of the deck. They're definitely going to run for a great Tusk play here. Now that Fluttermane being retreated means that we have limited their bench. And yeah, I'm really just going to be very aggressive with the turn after turn Iono. That's another reason I wanted to prioritize the Roxanne. And them getting rid of an Iono on our end, not great. Prime Catcher could be useful, but for now, we just want to take out the main threat here. I'm going to go ahead and Iono first before I use Bibarel here, because I have a feeling we'll get some Ultra Balls or like Nest Balls to use and to burn. We have Crushing Hammers, nothing too crazy. We do have an Ultra Ball. I do want to save the Hammer. I don't need the Counter Catcher. The Vacuum could be good as well, so I think I'll actually ditch Counter Catcher and Boss right now, and I'll have that get me another Glimmet. Then I can Glimmet, EXP share that Glimmet in case this Glimmora somehow gets knocked out, which I doubt it will, but it's always important just to keep that in mind. Then we got Roxanne back, but this is fine. I'm kind of okay to just kind of sit on this hand for a bit. We need the Vacuum. The Hammer is going to be good for later, so we'll just Poisonous Gem, get rid of that Great Tusk, and now we're pretty much forcing them to find Seda every single turn. Secret Box is at the bottom of the deck, which I am happy about. So we know that their Pokestop has a pretty low chance of hitting something like that, or they just have one in hand, right? And then they're going to be able to let some madness ensue that way. They got a Roaring Moon. They definitely have a Seda in the hand. Or because I have a feeling they would have led Fluttermane if that wasn't the case. They have the Pokestop, got a SER and a Super Rub, got rid of a Seda, which is really good for us. Okay, they just found the Secret Box after playing that Nest Ball. That's a little bit cringe. Monkey Dory is a pretty interesting tech in this deck. I've actually seen a little bit of that. But they get the Seda, they got the Booster, they got all that jazz. And that's why we keep the Lost Vacuum, because then we can actually KO this Roaring Moon. So the goal is going to be that we Lost Vacuum plus Hammer that Moon and force them to find another Seda. Because off of this one, they... What's it called? Yeah, they got the Seda. They're going to Pal Pad 2 back. That's fine with me. And the Vengeance Fletching is going to do 130. So they're going to be reaching knockout next turn, which is fine with me. I'm not going to complain too much about that. But I do want to go ahead. And actually, something I don't mind doing is hitting them with a Poisonous Gem and not KOing this Roaring Moon. That I'm actually kind of fine with. So I'll start with the Arven here. And I'll just do Buddy-Buddy plus Rescue Board. And Buddy-Buddy can get me double Bidoof. Or I can even just get myself another Glimmet. I don't mind that either. Grab another Glimmet and I'll throw the Rescue Board on it. It's not going to have another tool. I honestly, because we're limiting their bench, I actually don't mind just doing a Poisonous Gem on them. They're not going to go into Roxanne range just yet, but then I'd like to... Oh, they have double booster. That's a little bit of a challenge for sure. So I think what I'll start with is just going to be Poisonous Gem. The double booster, I didn't actually realize that's a little bit of a challenge for us. That is a little bit of a challenge. Something we can do, though, again, next turn is we can go for a potential Counter Catcher or a Boss, get rid of Seda and Earthen Vessel. They can Counter Catcher us here, which wouldn't be the worst play in the world for them, but I think they just want to take the 2 prizes naturally, which would be good for us, though, because we are just EXP shared, kind of just procs and we're living, right? But we want to put them in Roxanne range, like, really, really ASAP. They're getting the Seda. They've used the Pal Pad already, which is very important to note. If I were them, I would have actually saved it for a little bit later. But yeah, they're prepping their Professor Seda, and our goal is to take a knockout while reducing their other attacker to 0. That's kind of the game plan here. Which is going to be tough. Like, we're really going to need to force them out of the game this next turn in order to make a meaningful impact. Here's the concealed cards. They're really thinning their deck down. They are down 3 Professor Sada, so if we can get a couple Hammerheads, I'll be very happy with that. This is a primarily Great Tusk build, which I just find very interesting. This is the Vengeance Fletching 190, so our Glimmora does get knocked out. Thankfully, our EXP shares are going to be live here, so that is very good. And now they get to take 2 prizes. The Roxanne, we gotta save. I'll lead this Glimmet here. And our fighting energy is perfect. Debating the best way to go about this. Like, I definitely want to Ultra Ball away the Switch, and it might have to be a Hammer, honestly. Because right now, that's 5 energy accounted for. They have 6. I know they have another one in hand. We're really going to want to try and find an Iono here. We got no way to bump the stop. I think the first play we should make is, like, this is definitely getting attached. Maybe the first play is the Lost Vacuum. Like, maybe we Lost Vac the Switch just to get rid of this moon, put us on even prices because we got rid of the counter catcher already. So that's not the end of the world. Maybe we can find something a little more helpful. The Research is a good card to just chuck, honestly. They're going to leave Fluttermane, that's fine. Let's try a hammer, see if it works, see if it sticks. It does. So we can ditch this energy here. I kind of want to try the other one because we can at the very least use Bibarel to fill our hand again. That sticks, which is beautiful because now we can ditch it from this moon as well. So now we're kind of getting our game plan rolling a little bit. I think I'll Industrious Incisors, hopefully hit an Iono. We get Baby Glimmora, which so we can do 6. We can do up to 8 with Sneasler, which is really unfortunate because we have to use Perilous Jungle early. So I will just Ultra Ball it away. And do I want to research this Roxanne? I don't really want to. That's the thing. Like, I'm honestly completely fine just going into this Glimmora and, you know, like, just Poisonous Gem. I'm really okay with that because I don't know if they'll be able to get a full-on another moon powered up. Then next turn, maybe we just Roxanne them. Like, maybe they'll counter catcher a Glimmora here. Then we can Roxanne them next turn. Like, I'm not super opposed to that. And if we can stop them from establishing another moon after, like, here's the Pokegear. They actually don't hit anything. They must have just burned it. Or if they just go for an attach and a pass, because technically they can wait. But they probably have the Seda in hand if this is kind of the play they're going for. Maybe they're debating the Pokestop here. They're going for a counter catcher, like I kind of suspected. Counter catcher Bibarel. I'm very, like, curious. They might not have it. They're going for the Explorers. They don't have it. Okay, that's great. We do have, what's it called? We have Prime Catcher and Switch. We didn't get rid of the Switch, right? No, we didn't. We have Prime Catcher and double Switch still left. So that's fine. We can actually afford to smack this Roaring Moon to Kingdom Come. We get to go for our turn now. We draw Ultra Ball, which is super good. We can Ultra Ball away the Research and the Nest Ball and get another Bibarel. So that's one of the benefits of running the 3-3 Bibarel line, is that you really get to like consistently find them. It's not more about getting 3 Bibarel in play all the time. It's consistently finding your Bibarels and getting them rolling. We'll start with a Crushing Hammer over here, because if we can get rid of this other energy, which we can, things are going to be a lot easier for us. So we can do that. We'll evolve this Glimmora here. We're really trying to find ourselves an Arven or the Switch or the Prime Catcher, or even the Iono was good. We get the Arven, and I think I'd rather guarantee the Switch here. I'd rather bring up the Greninja, I think, and just get a knockout. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind just going for Arven. Then if they get a KO, we can kind of just go from there. Or do I want to smack the other moon? That's the thing. Because I can smack the moon and then I own them next turn. And that might force them, like, that might make them have a really hard time to come back. So I don't mind that. We'll just do this. We're chilling here. We'll Poisonous Gem. Now, we could also psych them out into thinking that we actually have another, what's his name? Lost Vacuum. Because now we're literally two-shotting everything. So this is really tough. The SER, I could have imagined, is going to go and just get more back. They're at 190. It is technically possible they can hit us this turn for the, what's it called? For the KO. There's a counter catcher. Counter catcher Bibarel once again. So this is interesting. And they're going to pass. Okay, so they might be out of Setas. And then here, we might be in the clear. We have the Switch. I can put the other Bidoof down. Again, it doesn't really matter as much. I do have Rod, so I could technically put that Bibarel back, but it's more just to get cards out of the hand. I think I'll for sure put this Bidoof in play. I have an attachment. I can attach to this Glimmet. Now, I have 5 cards left. I'll draw 3. Okay, I can guarantee the Switch with the Iono. So I think I'd rather do that. I should have actually attached to the Bibarel, but I'm likely to get the Switch off of the, what's it called? Okay, we got the Switch, that's great. I'm decently likely to get it off the prizes, so I don't mind that. So we'll go here. And I don't want to draw anything unnecessary, we'll just Poisonous Gem. I doubt they have more counter catchers, that's 2. So we'll just immediately get rid of this Roaring Moon, and now we're in a really, really clutch position. We're doing in a really, really good spot right now. We get Bediva, which really doesn't do anything. They're gonna lead Greninja, so they're gonna just attach pass to this Roaring Moon. That's my hunch. They're literally just gonna go for an attach pass. They got a Great Tusk. That's not good. But we have Arven to guarantee us the Rod. So if we can just use the Rod to put everything back, then we'll be fine. The Great Tusk, I kind of put that in the back of my mind, to be honest. I didn't think that he would be super relevant here. But we do have that ability. So we will Arven. We can also use that Iono. Yeah, we're going to Arven immediately for the Super Rod, which should put us, like, really, really close. It should be really, really close. Right? Yeah. Because we get 3 back. So, out of the 3 we get, definitely this Glimmora. We can just get Bibarel and Sneasler. Like, it doesn't really matter that much. We can do this. And then we'll just swing Poisonous Gem. And now we have Iono next turn. That is the last of their booster capsules. Or did one get lost? Yeah, one got lost zoned. So that's the last of them. We have Boss as well. We don't have Switch, which is not good. They're leading the Moon. So they're debating. I think they're just going to need to attach Pass here. We can just Boss and be done with it. They're attaching to the Moon. Yes! There we go. That's the big dub for us with Glimmora. Well, Boss orders up a Great Tusk and Poisonous Gem. And now you can see, this is probably this is a rough matchup for us, but because of just spamming Iono and forcing them to go into awkward situations, limiting their bench, limiting what they have access to, we're able to get the dub here. Oh, I think I might have vacuumed away the Switch. That's probably why I didn't know the second one was gone. There we go. Big dub, easy dub for the big Glimmora. Our opponent is calling the coin flip. They chose Tails Never Fails. So naturally, this is a heads always shreds angle. It was Tails. So Tails Never Fails when it's your opponent flipping the coin. But we get to go ahead and hopefully go second here. Hopefully that was beautiful. We were right. A lot of people are kind of obsessed with going first on the ladder, I find. This is a crazy good going second hand. Well, I wouldn't say crazy good. Depends on what this mulligan is. Oh, Thorns? I don't mind that at all. I don't mind Iron Thorns at all. Sure thing. Sure thing. Give me that. Fighting energy? Ooh, even better. We can take 2 hits from Thorns. We can just E-hammer them back. We got a really, really solid shot here. If they don't get... Okay, they did get an attachment. I was going to say if they don't, we're pretty much just cooking them to the core. We get Glimmora EX in the hand, so we'll bench Bidoof. We have double switch, so I hope they don't area us. We can Arven. Arven can get Buddy-Buddy and EXP share. And Buddy-Buddy naturally can get Glimmet Bidoof. We have Glimmoras to use. We can use an Iono next turn. Like I said, this hand, bonkers. Literally bonkers. That energy made it, like, insanely better. But now we Ascension. Not that Glimmora. This Glimmora. We Ascension into this one. Now, this is the point in, like, this matchup that decides everything. How many heads can each of us hit on our Crushing Hammers? That's what is decided here. They're going to need to basically 3-shot us in the early game, and we just 1-shot them for 2 prizes every turn. So if you don't have a Crushing Hammer in your hand, you're, like, almost guaranteed losing. There's an Arven, so I'm curious to see if they'll go for the Hammer route or they'll go for the Techno Radar route. The Arven means no Airy, so I'm happy our switches will survive, because that can be a concern later on if we don't have enough switches and they just stall a Bidoof and do whatever they want to us. Which is why, again, you play 2. They're going all in on the aggro, it seems. Energy Lotto, does it hit? It hits the double turbo. Now, I used to play a Temple of Sinnoh in here instead of the Perilous Jungle, so it was extremely easy to beat this matchup because you just, like, once they put their first Lost City down, you just Iono, Temple, swing, and then they're like, oh, what do I do here? Like, I need so much to come back. I hope they don't have any hammers in their hand right now. That would really be bad for us. I'm hoping not. If they just Volt Cyclone here, I'm pretty happy. Because we'll just throw the other Glimmora down. And we can even just Iono and we should be fine. Okay, they're just going to Volt Cyclone. Even if we find an Arven off the top, I would much rather use the Arven. Just to get us another... to guarantee us the energy with the Vessel. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Buddy-Buddy is the card we get. Don't necessarily need it. I'm hesitant to use the Iono here. But I also don't want to get rid of double switch. So I'll do this. I'll grab Bibarel. Because we could, off the Bibarel, get an Arven, the Vessel itself, or energy. We have a lot of outs, so off of 3 cards, so I'm not the most concerned, but would be really nice to get an attack going here. We would really, really need that to happen. We get the Vessel, which is really good. We can play the Arven, but I actually don't want to. I think I'd rather just use the Vessel, get double fighting. This is all our switch cards, so very important. Do this, and we'll just Poisonous Gem. So we'll start the aggression. And if, for whatever reason, they're able to KO this Glimmora, then we can kind of just utilize our good pal EXP share to carry us through. Get Glimmet, get Boss. Boss is also great in this matchup, just so you can target down their double turbo energy. They only have 4 of them, so it makes it much easier. I have a feeling their hand is full of those handy-dandy energies, so... there comes a Pokemon catcher. They might try and target our Bibarels here. I can definitely see like that Bibarel plus Judge is the motive. Or bringing up the other Glimmora. Good thing I saved my switches in my hand. Because, yeah, they're just mega cooked here. Like, once I attach this energy to the bench Glimmora, I can even literally attach it to the active. Yeah, I can just attach it to the active. There's nothing they can do. Absolutely zero they can do here. I'll switch, do this. Yeah, because they can't even get a KO. So I'm just gonna swing. Yeah, nothing you can do. I'm just gonna swing. Yeah. If you're tired of Quad Thorns, because I think Quad Thorns is getting back to that point where it's starting to be really good again in like the metagame. Glimmora also just destroys Quad Thorns. So keep that in the back of your mind. Our opponent is calling the flip. They call heads, so naturally, tails never fails. We're going to flip that coin, and it's going to be tails. So we're going to choose to go second here. We want to get that turn 1 ascension. That's usually the goal of this archetype. And yeah, once you get the turn 1 ascension, it's kind of just madness from there. Like, we basically have it guaranteed as long as Vessel is in the deck. We can use Arven to do that. We're in a really solid spot already. Our opponent's going to start with the Mew. Now, I'm very curious, like, you know, I think as an archetype, it's really interesting to see how your opponents play around Glimmora. I found that a lot of people kind of forget about the EX. They're more so thinking of the regular one. Got rid of a Fez, got rid of a Sada. My hunch is that this is a Roaring Moon deck because of the Mew. Usually you don't really see a lot of Raging Bolts playing a Mew anymore. They're gonna Night Stretcher with the Fez. Put the Fez down. This is like absolutely fantastic here. E-Switch, definitely a Roaring Moon. I'm like, or maybe it's a Regidrago. No, Sada wouldn't play Regidrago. Anyways, this is really good for us here. Seeing them put down so many support Pokemon lets me know that they don't actually or they're not planning to encounter this Glimmora. If they don't put more Pokemon down, we can just lock them out of attackers. And that'll probably be the most hilarious thing that we could do here. So we'll see what they do. They've gotten rid of a Water Energy off the concealed cards. Again, they've got their bench. They got Squawk, Fez, and Raining Greninja. Another great thing to note. Fez is weak to fighting, and Glimmora is a fighting type. So they're going to pass. This is going to be hilarious. I hope we just have the Vessel in deck. I will confirm with this Buddy-Buddy Poffin, just so I can guarantee it. We do have the Vessel. All right. Mayhem is about to unfold here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go for the Arven here. The Arven will grab... Oh! As soon as they saw the Arven, I think they were like, I'm cooked. It's so funny. Oh, first Glimmora dub of the day. Didn't even have to put Glimmora in play. So what did you think of my Glimmora EX deck? This truly is an anti-meta deck. At its core, it is built to literally just beat all the meta decks. You have the tools to do anything in here, and I've opted to make my list like on the forefront of being, what's it called? Consistent. That's what it's called. This deck should never give you a problem in terms of getting set up. You should literally be able to turn one Ascension every single game, like without a doubt, unless you get an insanely poor live hand. There is room to tech. You can remove a 1/1 Bibarel line. You can go heavier on the hammers, get rid of the hammers, go heavier on Devo. Double Devo can be very devastating to Zard and Dragapult, especially if they're like not playing Tree or something like that. Which I do find that those are this deck's hardest matchups. Raging Bolt is up there, but because you can limit their bench so much, unless they literally just have a perfect hand, Raging Bolt's one of those decks that if it has a perfect hand, you can't do anything about it. But, again, we have the tools. We have the means to be successful with this deck. So you can kind of mix and match with whatever matchups you're struggling with, whatever matchups you're not, that kind of thing. There is a other Glimmora that I was talking about, which I will pull up right here. This one. If your opponent's active Pokemon's poisoned, this attack does 100 more damage. And stun poison is good. Flip a coin of heads. You can, paralyze and poison them. This Glimmora can be good just to do 30 poke. I'm not even counting the 100 more with if it's poisoned. Just to do the 30 poke, it could be good. The fact that it attacks for 1 energy and it does like, you can just poke 30 damage against like a Roaring Moon, or stun poison could be really good in a pinch. I think the other Glimmora does this job better, but being able to literally do 30 for 1 is good. So you could also implore this Glimmet with Rock Shot if you literally just need to do 30 damage, because 140 plus 30 poison on average is 170, and then that's another 30, that's 200. Then you can poke for 30, that's KOing most EXs in the game except Raging Bolt. So important to keep that in mind. Other than that, I don't really have any changes I'd recommend. I'd recommend for you to go out in the world of Glimmora EX and experiment. Just try it out, see how it fares. This deck is a ton of fun, and I think you're going to love it. Thank you so much for watching, and like this video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Subscribe to the Hitmonchanning channel. I'm posting multiple Pokemon Trading Card Game videos every single weekend. Once again, with all that's said and done, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Hitmonchanning out.